Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Bandai Tamashii Nation's Avengers Infinity War movie Hulkbuster Mark II figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Quick look at the side of the box. You can see it says Avengers Infinity War, Hulkbuster Mark II, Avengers Infinity War again. And on the opposite side, more of the same. And a quick look at the back of the box, a few pictures of the figure. Don't look at that. You're going to see the figure. All right, here we go. Avengers Infinity War, Hulkbuster Mark II. We saw this appear towards the end of the movie in the final climactic battle. And we saw that Bruce Banner was manning the Hulkbuster armor because he could not change into the Hulk. We also got tricked into thinking that the Hulk was going to make an appearance and Iron Man was in the Hulkbuster. They did a lot of cool marketing trickery to throw you off the scent, so nothing would be spoiled for you by the time the movie dropped. And it was quite a few surprises in Avengers Infinity War. I really liked the way they did that. So we saw that one scene where Hulk was running. Something should be popping up here, but we did find out that Bruce Banner was in this Hulkbuster armor. So I gotta say right off the bat that I really do like this version over the first version. It seems more durable, it seems less clunky, it's sleek, the joints are hidden better. It seems like it's just a better put together figure than the previous version. And don't get me wrong, I love that first Hulkbuster and I jumped through a lot of hoops to get the money up to pay for that. And the same thing here. I had my eye on this for a while and I bided my time and I did what I had to do to make sure I got this. So I'm super late on this review. I mean, you know, the figure's been out, but I wanted to take a real quick look at this figure and then set up a nice little portrait style display. I did one recently with the Stan Lee figure in a review, but I didn't really give you like a step-by-step. I'll show you my process here. Like the Mark I Hulkbuster, this one does have some light up features, so I will get to that, but I just wanted to give him a spin and let you see this figure in all its glory. Like I said, I do think they did a really good job on him. There seems to be a lot of moving parts, but everything looks really good through and through. Paint looks great. I don't see any imperfections. And from what I can tell so far, all the articulation is working. I'll get to that. We saw this armor in action towards the end of Avengers Infinity War and at the very beginning of Avengers Endgame. Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor was part of the crew that went out to kill Thanos initially. And that's actually the team that I want to build in this portrait style display in this video. Unfortunately, there are no accessories with this figure, but you know, like I mentioned, he does have the light up feature. That is the only feature, quote unquote feature, on this particular figure. It would have been nice if they would have included a little Bruce Banner head for when you pop off the head, you can, you know, have his head peeking out through the top of the armor. That would have been cool. That's too much like the right thing to do, I think, especially for this price point. They should have included something extra, some sort of incentive, you know? He has quite a bit of articulation. I'll probably miss some points, but the head does rotate here and it hinges on this joint a bit. Like I said, the head does pop off. The shoulders, you have articulation here at this point. This can probably pop off, I believe. This pad on the shoulder shifts and this one hinges here, so that gives you a greater range for getting the arms up. You can actually pull the arm out a bit. There is a butterfly joint in there and you get rotation at the upper bicep. You get a double jointed elbow. It looks like it's double jointed, but it's hindered a little bit by this portion on the forearm. You get rotation at the wrist. You get a hinge on the wrist. Each individual finger is articulated. Only 3 fingers on each hand and 1 thumb, but it's articulated at each individual digit as well, so you can make a fist or put the middle finger up or do whatever you want to do there. Pieces are popping off, but you do get lower abdominal articulation and you can turn them left to right there as well. That was actually the back plate that you need to remove in order to activate the light up feature or switch the power on, so we'll get to that. The pelvic and lower legs area is a little tricky, but it is traditional SHF articulation. You have that sort of drop down method at the leg that allows you to get more range forward and back. You get almost a double jointed knee. Not really. There is some rotation at the upper thigh. You do get a slight hinge on the foot. This hinges as well. So he moves around a bit. You can definitely get him into some decent poses for action. And you can see how it looks from the back. The head does actually raise up as well, so you can get him to raise up and turn left to right and down. He's not going to look up too far, really not much at all, but there is a decent range on the head. I think he's just a really good looking figure. A lot of moving parts, but definitely not the most articulated figure. I mean, he's just a big mech, but I do think this is where SHF shines in this department with sort of like mechs or masked figures. When they start having to nail somebody's likeness, then that's another thing. But something like this, they do such a really good job at it. So there's a close look at that back panel. You can see this little translucent cover here. I need to get a little screwdriver so I can open this up, and then you can pull this out, so that will allow the batteries to touch basically, so that way the light up feature can work. So once you get that off, then you can switch on the batteries here for this particular light. There's that, the head, so I'll do that, and the back of both legs. So there's the eyes and the back. Lower legs, and that right leg, the light seems a little dim. That doesn't seem right. I think the batteries weren't all the way pushed in, so that looks a little better. And there's the opposite side. I think the first Hulkbuster had less light up features, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to break him out for a size comparison. Still finding more articulation too, so this joint actually shifts a little bit here on the inside for the neck, so the head can kind of move independently of that neck joint, and then this rotates as well and it allows you to pop the head up and down. This little hook kind of rotates as well. So there's the two side by side. I totally forgot about the chest light on the Mark II, so you can see I already popped out the plate. That was a pain in the ass to get it situated, to get the batteries in there and push them in and screw the plate back on and put the top plate back on. It was a lot. So it does light up right in the center of the chest, and then like sort of above where the rib cage would be on a person. So there's more lights on the newer one. You got the chest, the two side panels on the chest, so where the rib cage would be, the head, the back, and the two inner portions of the leg. Alright, easy portrait style display on a white hot backdrop. Alright, so for you to do this, you need a white backdrop. I have a white poster paper as the base, I have a white poster paper as the backdrop, and I have a bunch of light. So lights hitting the backdrop, lights above, lights in the front, and I'm gonna still have to play with the f-stop to get it right where it's not overexposed, but it's nice and bright and the figures pop there. All right, so usually with something like this, you want to start with a centerpiece. Usually I'll start with the leader as the centerpiece and a team sort of portrait style display, but we'll start with Hulkbuster. I'll get my guys open and start arranging them. Everything that I'm doing is through the viewer here, so I'm going to set up everything based on me focusing in on the centerpiece, and then just keep setting up each figure right in the frame of the camera. You got the big strong guy, you got the leader, you got the female, you know. So big strong guy is Hulkbuster. Got my leader in the center. I've got some symmetry to the left and right of him, flyers, everybody else grounded. Got my little guy. But yeah, it's just good angling with the stands. I don't have to do anything after this. I'll take my shot. As far as adding or removing anything digitally, I definitely don't do that. It's really just a game of angles. That's why displaying through your viewer of your camera is the best thing you could do. You just take your time and you just keep adding things one by one until you get it perfect, and you'll have a perfect portrait team style shot. All right, I got to get up out of here. I got to move on to the next thing, and I think I got everything spaced out here. So the SHF Hulkbuster Mark II Really nice figure. A few more lights than a Mark 1. More durable. Better put together. Very expensive though for what you get. Articulation is not the greatest. It is a very big figure though. And if you're a completist like me, then you're still going to try to go out and get this one. Not really one I would recommend though because of the price tag. That was one of my major issues with the Mark 1 Hulkbuster, but he does look very, very cool. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, peace.